Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity, Arjun, to speak on Know a Church initiative, especially churches named after Saint Mary. There are many famous and powerful churches in India and globally, including in France, Italy, Spain, Brazil, etc. And most of them are Catholic churches. So we wanted to take this opportunity to speak about a Saint Mary's Church that is less glamorous and not in the world map yet, has a very rich history and powerful standing belonging to our Orthodox Sabha. The fact finding experience was amazing with lots of revelations. Please join us in learning more. I'm speaking specifically of Arthat St. Mary's Cathedral. The reason I chose this church is because it's a very powerful church named after St. Mary, belonging to the Orthodox Sabha, as I told you. This is the first church established by St. Thomas in AD 52. It is an ancient church with 20 centuries of rich history. Our family has a couple of hundred years of history with this church. I was baptized at this church and I'm emotionally connected to this church.
As you know, Arthat St. Mary's Cathedral is located in close to Thrissur in Kunnangalam town. Now, Kunnangalam is around 25 kilometers from Thrissur and it's towards the coastal area. As you can see, you have Kunnangalam, Arthat, St. Mary's and Thrissur in the map here. It is said to be one of the 7.5 churches which have been established by Apostle St. Thomas. Kunnangalam is famous for its religious harmony. There are lots of churches here, around 25 churches in this small town. In the early AD 50, close to AD 52, in the early years of the centuries, India had a flourishing trade with Central Asia, the Mediterranean, and the Middle East, both along the mountain passes in the north and also along the sea coast, along the western and the southern coasts especially. And this was well before the start of the Christian era. So there were many Christian merchants who came on along this route and settled in the Indian cities, coming here for trading. As you know, since ancient times, Kerala has been the center of Indian spice trade, where Greeks, Romans, Jews, Arabs, and Chinese came for grabbing their part of this share of the spice trade. The map here shows the trade routes along the sea from the Middle East, from Italy. All the trade routes are shown dotted. Now, as I said, there were 7 churches established by Saint Thomas in AD 52, and he came here and preached the gospel. The churches established by Saint Thomas were at Kodungalur, Kollam, Niranam, Nilakal, also called Chayal, Kokamangalam, Kottakayal, that is Paravur, then Palayur, also known as Chattakulangara, and Tiruvadamkod. Saint Thomas had a very high respect for Holy Virgin Mary, and he named all these churches after Saint Mary. These are the churches which was established by Saint Thomas, and today we will be talking mainly about Chattukulangara Church. Chattukulangara Church is also known as Arthat Church or Arthat Chattukulangara Palli, is one of the churches Saint Thomas established near the present day Kunnangalam, also called Palur, or it was called Judakunna, where the Jews were colonized. He preached gospel to the Jews and the locals, and many were converted to Christianity. Now, the history goes saying that there was a Jewish synagogue in that area, which was later converted to a Christian church, and this church is called Chattukulangara Palli. So the story goes, which is stories by the locals there, They say that Saint Thomas came to Judakunna, and there occurred a water scarcity, and people in that area were in great distress. So they appealed to Saint Thomas for help. He whipped on the land on top of the hill, and there appeared a spring of fresh water. This was later called Chattakulam. Chatta means whip, so that is how the name Chattakulangara comes. And the church near it came to be known as Chattakulangara Palli. Now, as you can see the map here, the Chattakulam is still in existence, and it has water, even in the peak summer. And this is along the Guruvayur Kundangulam route. And here is a picture of the, the pond or the spring where you had the fresh water. So, as you can see, this is the Artha Church, the magnificent Artha Church in Kundankulam. It's a very important Orthodox church and pilgrim center of a Malankara Orthodox Sabha. Now, this is the Talapalli, or the head church of all the churches in this region. And during the Lent season, around 200 plus families stay here and pray. There are lots of people who visit this church, and during our Lent, there are places where people can stay and undergo dhyanam and go through the Lent season. Kundankulam even today is exclusively populated by St. Thomas Christians, and in many old traditions of the city, you can notice that it has a wonderful weave of Jewish and Brahminical traditions. Now, you can see this by the Angadi Veedugal, which is also called bazaar houses. The way the houses are constructed and the architecture of the houses, it's very similar to the Brahmin agraharams and the Jew streets. It's like houses which is on a dense grid of narrow streets, and they have the shop in the front, and the rear rooms are used for residential purposes. And even today you can see these. There's not much of structural alterations that have been done. You can still see this there. Another important activity or a festival which is celebrated in Kundankulam area, which we don't see in other parts of Kerala, is the Pindi Perunal, and this is around January 5th, or the first Sunday after the in January, and it's very colorful, and the streets are lit up with this pindi, which has all these velak or candles which are stuck to the pindi, and it's very beautiful and very colorful. It's like a Diwali there, and it's a very famous and a very important festival in Kundankulam. Now, there are some contradictions with the Syro-Malabar churches. Palayur, which we are talking about, is around 7 kilometers from Arthat, and they say that the church there has been established by Saint Thomas. Now, the contradictions, what we feel is, or the contradiction that's there is, the church at Arthat is dedicated to Saint Mary, the Mother of God, whereas the church which is there in the current Palayur is dedicated to Saint Kuriakos, a saint who lived around the 4th century AD and was introduced to Malankara only in the 5th century. Now, it is impossible to build up a church in the 1st century by Saint Thomas in memory of a 4th century saint in anticipation. But it is more reasonable to believe that the church at Arthat, which is dedicated to Saint Mary as a permanent monument of the Saint Thomas mission. So, and also if you see, there are many churches in the Arthat area which is in the name of Saint Mary. There is our Saint Mary's Orthodox Syrian Cathedral, then there is a Marthoma Church, then there is a Holy Cross Church. This area in and around our Orthodox Church is filled with lots of other churches as well. So it shows the importance of that place. The present Palayur village also was on sea level during that time, and it's impossible to believe that how can you build a church when that Palayur area is under the sea. Lastly, the sentiment towards Arthat still exists in the minds of believers, irrespective of the denomination. And there are 7 churches. As I said, there are 7 churches of different denominations at the small village of Arthat itself. There is no such sentiment towards the present Palayur. I would like to give a little brief about the church history. Since, as you know, Artha Church has almost 20 centuries of history. So, Artha Church was a very important church in the region, and because of that, there were a lot of conflicts and regarding this church. Between the 1st and the 4th century, there have been some history about missionaries having visited as well. From the early 4th century, the Patriarch of the Church of the East provided India with clergy, holy texts, and the ecclesiastical infrastructure. Around the 6th century, the Church of the East associated its jurisdiction over the St. Thomas Christian community. And between the 6th and the 15th century, there were lots of churches which are added, and it increased to almost 94. Then, as you know, as you've heard and read in history, from the 1500s onwards, slowly and steadily, European Catholic and by 1700, Protestant missionaries, they started being active in India, and what they did is they tried to unite more churches under their leadership. This church, as you see in this picture, the church was connected to the Patriarch of the East, and this is the symbol of that. And here is the period during the period of change, the Christian history or in India. How it has moved last 20 centuries, how the Oriental Orthodox, the Eastern Orthodox, how the Catholic churches formed. The period is shown here. Now, in 1599, a very important event happened, and which is called the Synod of the Diamper. And Artha Church didn't attend the Synod of Diamper. Now, what is Synod of Diamper? Synod of Diamper was a council which, under the leadership of Catholic Archbishop of Goa, Portugal, Alexio de Menses. Here is a picture, Alexio de Menses. So what they did was they were creating rules and regulations for the St. Thomas Christians of the Malabar coast to formally unite them with the Catholic Church. However, Artha Church didn't attend this council meeting. So since Artha was a very important church and in the region, Archbishop personally visited the Artha Church to allure and to subjugate Artha Church to the Latin leadership. Now, the local people strongly opposed it, and they loudly shouted and expressed their protest. After that, in 1653, during the Coonan Cross oath, that is Coonan Cross Satyam, which is a dispute between there was a dispute between Orthodox and Catholics over the worshipping rites in the Artha Church. And this gained momentum, and by the end of the 18th century, the conflict was so strong that the church had to be closed. Then the situation turned worse in 1789. That's when Tipu Sultan's soldiers, they came and they burnt and arsened the Artha Church. There was a lot of damage. I mean, if you go and talk to some of the people from Artha Church, they still talk about how Tipu Sultan's soldiers came and damaged and burned and created. This was a very important historical event which people talk about it strongly even now. There was a lot of damage was done, and the roofless building remained unattended for almost 16 years, from 1789 to 1805. Then in 1805, with the since the church was closed and the conflicts were going on, then at the request of the Malankara Nasranis, the then Cochin king Shaktan Tamburan, he himself came to the Artha Church to resolve the problem. So in a lucky draw, the main church and the buildings went to the Malankara Syrians, which came to us basically, and the stone cross across the church went to the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church. A few other very notable events is the Artha Padiola. You can see the Artha, if you visit Artha Church, you can still see the Artha Padiola. It's on a resolution on a copper plate. So in 1806, the Artha Padiola, which was an open declaration of faith was executed by the vicar and 12 parishioners from reputed families of Arthat Church before the then Tirumeni Malankara Metropolitan Mar Dionysius the First, that they are not bound to obey the prelates of Rome and Antioch and Babylon or any other foreign countries. Also, another important event is in 1808 there was a gold medal which was given by Dr. Claudius Buchanan and Colonel Macaulay. These were the important ministers of Church of England, and they were an evangelical missionary. And Colonel Macaulay was a resident of the British East India Company, and they gave a large gold medal to this very important principal church in the name of all the Syrian churches in Malayalam. So that's how they say, when they quote. So on the gold medal that was given, one side depicts the presentation of Jesus at the Jerusalem temple, and on the other side is the baptism in Jordan River. So this history what I had spoken so far, there's our Julius Tirumeni, that is Dr. Georgis Mar Julius Tirumeni. He's also spoken about it. There's a small video which endorses talks about the Arthat Church history. So you can watch this on the YouTube. Here is a link to this video. So as you can see, this church has been a very important church, and historically many dignitaries have visited it. Some of the notable dignitaries who have visited in the recent years is as you know, our current Bava Tirumeni, His Holiness Basilius Marthoma Paulos II, is from Kunnamkulam, and he was the first metropolitan of the Kunnamkulam diocese. So the Kunnamkulam diocese is still under the Bava Tirumeni. Another important dignitary who visited this church was the head of the Ethiopian Orthodox, Patriarch Abune Matthias. Here is the church. He visited this is the picture. He visited the Arthat St. Mary's Cathedral on November 20th, 2016. And he celebrated the Holy Mass at the church along with our Bava Tirumeni. Apart from that, another important dignitary who visited our church was our ex-Chief Minister Umman Chandy. Here is a picture. Parimala Tirumeni, our Parimala Tirumeni, he laid the foundation stone for the cemetery, and it's one of the largest cemetery among all the churches in Kerala. And the foundation stone was laid in 1899. Several other notable leaders have also visited this church. To talk about the architecture of this church, the church was earlier built in Kerala architectural style, and this was with thatched style with coconut palm leaves. Then during the attack of Tipu Sultan, the church was arson, as I had mentioned before, and later the church was reconstructed with a wooden roof and thatched with clay tiles. Now the present structure, which is as you see, was built in 1805 to 1827, and this is almost 200 plus years old. This is the Arthat Church, the Madbaha. It's very intricate. There's lots of designs, and it's this was done as I believe in 200 plus years ago. So one of the stories is that there are two Madbahas here. The earlier Madbaha, it was reconstructed and they built a Madbaha in the front. This is because when Tipu Sultan came, one of the priests was there was a lot of damage done. So because of that, one more Madbaha had to be built. So this is something unique which you see only at the Arthat Church. As you can see here, there's a very old and very ancient velak here, which is it's a big velak, and as Nercha we go and we light the velak there. It has 118 tiris, and this is it's in the middle, and it's beautiful when it's lit with 118 theories. Another important feature is you see these old chandeliers, which is again unique, which I've seen only in Artha Church, no other church. So this is the view from outside. You have a vadil here. It's the olden day style. So from the road you get through these steps. This huge doors, which is like a fortress door, and you enter through that, and here is a view from the main entrance, and then there's a courtyard, and the church has got a huge courtyard. As once you enter through this, there's this is the entrance to the church. This is the Artha Church cemetery. As I had mentioned before, Parimala Tirumeni laid the foundation stone. This church has the largest cemetery among all the churches in Kerala, and it's I think 1 hectare area.
So just to touch upon our association with the Artha Church, as you know, Artha Church is a Talapalli, and all the churches in Kundangalam. There are 9 chapels under this church. Kurbana is conducted every day and on weekends at multiple times. During the Lent season, more than 200 plus families stay here and attend the church Kurbana. I have a strong association with this church. Our family has been members of this church for generations. Me and my sisters were baptized at this church. We visit this church every time we visit Kerala, every year actually. During my childhood, we stayed at this church for 2 to 3 days for dhyanam. Our grandparents and great grandparents' cemetery is here. There are many local stories about miracles that have happened in the church. Most of them are by word of mouth. It's never become documented and marketed like many of the famous churches globally, but there are very powerful events. There are several of them we have heard and be inspired about this church. We have several family testimonies, so we are very emotionally attached to this church. We believe there's a powerful church, and it is very close to our hearts and all the people in this region. Just to summarize, Artha Church is definitely uniquely positioned with the rich history. A powerful church named after Saint Mary belonged to the Orthodox Sabha. The first church established by Saint Thomas in AD 52. We showed you when he came, and how he established churches from north to south of Kerala. An ancient church with 20 centuries of rich history of existence in India. Some say a well-kept secret. And this church has all the merits for due recognition in India and Global Christian Ministries map. Next time you are in Trichur, please visit Artha St. Mary's Orthodox Cathedral, and I hope this journey was interesting to all of you, and thanks for the opportunity.